So you have a laser and you're ready to start making money, but now you have to figure out where to source everything. Where do you get the wood? Where do you get the acrylic? Where do you get the leather? What about blanks? What are blanks? If you're new to the laser industry, I'm about to rock your world because I'm going to make things super easy for you, and I'm going to list out some of the most reliable top suppliers in this industry. I even have a PDF with everything hyperlinked for you to make your life super simple. Just click on the link below and I'll send it right over to you. So are you ready? Let's go! Hey maker, Emily here, otherwise known as That Mom with a Laser and the brand ambassador for Eon Laser USA. And I have spent several years of intense activity and connection in this industry that I can confidently point you to some of the most reliable suppliers in this industry. Now, before we get started though, I want you to keep in mind that the laser industry is hot right now. What does that mean? It means a lot of people are trying to get into this industry, not just as small businesses, but a lot of people are trying to break into the supplier game, which means you may not know which suppliers out there are reliable, trustworthy, well-known. Honestly, it feels like every day there's a new supplier trying to get into the game and sell you their goods for your laser business. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to point out to you not only commonly known suppliers that everybody in the know knows about, but I'm also going to point out to you some of the most reliable and trustworthy businesses that most of us get our supplies from. And to make it even easier for you, I've created a list with clickable links to every resource that I mentioned in this video. Let's begin with sourcing wood. Now, before I give you some names of some great companies that you can get your materials from, I want to highly encourage you to sit down and take the time to Google lumber yards in your area. You might get really lucky and find that there's a lumber yard that carries exactly what you want, and you could save a lot of money if you get lucky, okay? But it's going to be a process. You got to sit down, you got to take the time to find these local places, call them, maybe even go in person, and see if they carry finished plywood that is between 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch, in thickness. It's going to be harder to get anything thinner, and it might be difficult to find specialty woods, but if you get lucky, you could save a lot of money. In addition to local lumber yards, you can also consider big box stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, and Menards. These are all places that are commonly, used, and it might be good to use their products a little bit just in case, maybe you do have a specific supplier and you find yourself in a pinch and you need something quick, then you know what you're going to get. I've been using Columbia Forest maple from Home Depot for a long time, and what I love about it is that I can custom cut it and get it delivered for free, which is that's crazy, okay? So I like their finished Columbia Forest products, and if you just go to the website, you can tell them the specific size that you want. Takes a little bit of mathing depending on the size of your laser, so that you can maximize the actual cut size of the wood that they cut for you, but it's really nice that they'll also ship it to you for free. You can also order from big companies in the industry like Trotec, for example. One thing that's popular with them is that you can get custom cuts, and they're a little more available beyond the United States. So I like that about Trotec. And then, of course, there's Glowforge with their proof grade materials. I do feel like it's a little overpriced. It's a little expensive, but I will say this, I have never been disappointed from any of the proof grade material that I've ever ordered. It's always been really great quality stuff. Now, if you're looking for specialty woods like walnut or cherry or hickory, or if you want to get wood that's already sealed, that's when you're going to want to consider a laser-specific wood supplier. I personally love two companies. Lasered by the Creek is a great one. I love that it's a generationally owned business and that they mill everything themselves. So they're not ordering from overseas, and it's US made. So I'm really big on that. I love that about Lasered by the Creek, and their products are phenomenal. It's well established. They've been around for years. As a matter of fact, I just got a package from them. So let's go ahead and open it up so I can show you what some of these different woods look like.
All right, so you're going to see it says custom grains because the owner, Chance, he also has another laser business that's very successful selling hats. Let's see what's in here. All right, we've got, a 1/16 inch birch, which is nice. That's when you want something nice and thin. Oh, hold on. Straight you're like trying to record this on a video. All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. It's all nice and flat. I don't have any bowed wood. Looks like we've got, I love the thinness. Like a lot of times you're going to order 1/8 of an inch or a 1/4 inch from some places and it's not going to be a true 1/8 of an inch. This looks pretty true. So we've got 1/8 of an inch birch. I love this for, you know, when I'm trying to make low cost items, especially like ornaments. Here we've got alder. Cool. I've never really worked with this one before. Also 1/8 of an inch. Oops. Just dropping stuff all over the place here. Oh, this smells great. Cedar. Wow. See, I haven't even lasered this stuff. I mean, I know the wood, but I haven't lasered cedar. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Can you imagine opening up like a Christmas ornament and you smell that? What's this? We've got hickory. All these beautiful different wood grains. Oh my goodness, mahogany. See what I mean? They've got a great selection. More than I've even experimented with. White oak. That's lovely. Sapel. I can never get this right. I don't know if it's sapel or sapele. Now, this is all unfinished, but they also carry I'm sorry, it's finished. It's not sealed. They also carry sealed wood. So if you didn't want to have to sand anything or anything like that, this is red oak. Maple. I use maple all the time. And it's all 1/8 of an inch so far. Cherry. Oh my gosh, walnut. I work with walnut all the time. I love how it looks. It's so pretty. And then when you seal it, it looks... Oh, look, here we go. Sealed walnut. See the difference? Okay. It just really makes the grain pop. So this is 1/8 of inch walnut, 2-sided clear coat. So that's super nice. And what I love about lasering sealed wood is that if there's residue, you just wipe it off. There's no sanding involved or anything. It's actually really clean and easy. Okay, so this is 1/8 of an inch walnut, 2-sided clear coat, 1-sided masking. So if you wanted to have it masked on one side, look at that. They give you all these options. Okay. And now here, this is a 1/4 inch. Yep, 1/4 inch walnut. And then 1/16 inch birch. This is really great for earrings, tiny things that you don't want so much thickness. So here's an idea of what, you know, one of my favorite wood suppliers offers in terms of variety. But look, we got a lot of options here.
There's also Laser Wood Supplies that I have also been ordering from for years, and I love that it's a veteran-owned business. They have a great variety and amazing customer service. Other notable mentions are Oak Hooch. They have a lot of hardwoods. Then there's KJP in Canada. That's another great resource if you're up in Canada looking for, you know, better pricing. Smoky Hill Designs, H&H Creations, G2S Awards, Triton's Craft Supplies, Big Blue Laser Designs, and that Laser Dude. All right, let's shift gears here and talk about acrylic. Acrylic is an awesome material to work with because the color options are endless. Not only that, it's way less labor intensive than wood. There's no painting involved. And it's also very easy on maintenance when it comes to your laser. There's not as much residue or buildup, so you're not going to have to clean your laser, not as nearly as much as if you were cutting something like wood or leather, for example. My go-to laser supplier is Cerulean Tides. I have been ordering from Amanda for years. She's very reliable, great turnaround, and they also offer other like supplies that we typically use in laser shops, like glues, standoffs, things of that nature. So my number one go-to is Cerulean Tides by far. I also really love to get acrylic that is matte, like this right here. On one side it's matte, on the other side it's glossy. So, you know, if you don't want a glossy look, you know, think about getting something that's double-sided or matte altogether. I use it a ton for my bag tags at back to school time. Here you go. Keychains and ornaments. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about acrylic. Other notable mentions are Custom Made Better, Houston Acrylic, Way Supplies. These are basically suppliers that only focus primarily on acrylic. Some of the wood companies we talked about earlier also carry it. I know Lasered by the Creek is going to be carrying acrylic very soon. Smoky Hill carries it, H&H Creations, and G2S Awards. Then, of course, you have the big brand names like Trotec Laser, JDS, and Johnson Plastic Plus. All right, so now it's time to shift gears here and let's talk about blanks. What are blanks, Emily? Well, that's what I'm going to tell you about right now. Blanks are pretty much items that you only engrave, so you don't really need to cut them. There's no cutting involved. Let me show you what I mean. Take, for example, my silicone lunch boxes. I purchased those from overseas. Over here, I have tumblers. Okay, so as you can see, these are things that I'm going to engrave. I'm not really going to cut them. So when you're first getting started, it's actually a lot of fun to go to places like Ross, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, for example, and get cutting boards from there and a lot of one-off random things. But you'll find that over time, it gets old really quick because you have to run to the store and then you're subject to whatever they have in stock. Let's say you found this amazing cutting board and you have, I don't know, 5 other people that want that same cutting board, and then you go to that store and they're all out and you have no idea when they're going to get restocked. So that's a common thing that a lot of us experiment with in the beginning. But as you start to get more established in your business, you are going to want something that's more reliable and that doesn't require you to have to leave your home frequently to go shopping. Once you get that out of your system, you might want to experiment with ordering in bulk, but maybe you're not ready to order from overseas just yet and you want to order, smaller quantities, because if you order in bulk, like you saw with my lunch boxes, you were ordering hundreds, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but that can be really scary, especially if you're just getting started and you don't have the funds to invest. So if you want to get small quantities of like 5 to 10, maybe 20 max of something, then you're probably going to want to go through a small business like the Crazy Laser Dad. I love him and I get a ton of blanks from him. I mean, he's got everything from, pocket knives to, oh gosh, what are those things called? S'more sticks. He's got a bunch of options. But at least when you go through someone like that, then you know you're going through a business that is trustworthy and you don't have to invest so much in big, huge items and wait months to get them. You can actually get them pretty quickly. Then, of course, I can't forget my girl Crystal Aguila from the Riley Black Project with keychainthingies.com. That's where I get all of my keychain accessories that you guys ask me about all the time. And for my friends up in Canada, Maverick CNC has a ton of options when it comes to laser engraving blanks. Then, of course, you have companies like JDS Industries, where they just have a vast variety of different types of blanks. You do have to have a wholesale account in order to order from them, and Johnson Plastics Plus. Now, I like to test the waters with these small, I don't want to say smaller suppliers, but local suppliers, I should say, that allow you to order in small quantities. Once I find a product that I like and I sell a lot, then I'll consider ordering from overseas. For several reasons. One, it's more bang for your buck. It's easier on the pocket for my business. However, this is where we get into, the struggle of finding a reliable supplier, a trustworthy supplier. A lot of people are afraid to order from overseas from places like AliExpress and Alibaba.com, as it's really just uncharted territory that we don't really know, right? You don't know who you're ordering from. There are horror stories of people being scammed, but it really doesn't happen as much as you'd think. And if you do your due diligence and make sure you read up on reviews and you're ordering from a supplier that has been approved by those sites, you should be fine. The downside is there is an MOQ, minimum order quantity, which means you probably have to order a lot of something. Then shipping takes forever and it's very expensive also. So if you end up finding a blank that you sell well and you're willing to invest in, then test the waters and try places like Alibaba, for example. I haven't found any specific supplier that I love, so I'm not going to recommend anything until I can totally have confidence sharing it with you guys, but I can tell you that that's where you would go to find things in bulk. I should also mention, too, that Amazon is actually a really great resource for quick blanks, again, for you to test the waters. So, for example, when I did my stocking video, I first tested the waters with stockings that I found on Amazon, and then once I found that they were selling, I went and I ordered them in bulk from overseas. And I tried, basically I took the Amazon photo and I said, hey, I need this specific stocking. Do you have it? And I found something that was as close as possible to the stocking. And the same is true for my Easter basket. Then, of course, there's tumblers. And unfortunately, it's very hard, or actually you can't really get name brands like this at wholesale prices in bulk, but you definitely can find suppliers that do offer in bulk at wholesale cost with similar style products. So for example, Say Creative, that's where I got this tumbler right here. These that you see me do a lot of my 40 ounces on. I love them. Great variety, great selection. There's also Save a Cup that I've been using for years. Makerflow is another really popular supplier. You can also get them from JDS as well as bulktumblers.com. Let's, of course, not forget cutting boards. Cutting boards are such an easy thing to do. They sell so well. The markup is really great. But again, sourcing nice wood so that you can, have higher end offers is difficult. Again, it gets old going to places like Home Goods. What I love about those places is I can get specialty woods like, acacia, mango wood, olive wood even sometimes, but I really don't like constantly having to go to the store, and being subject to what they have on the shelves. So if you want something a little more consistent, Webstaurant.com is a very reliable, consistent place to get cutting boards from, although they're going to be simpler woods. And if you want something a little more exotic, like olive wood, for example, there's Sunshine Laser Supplies that also carries accessories and other types of blanks. And there's Naturally Med. I think there's a $250 minimum, and you do have to apply as a wholesaler to source from them. But there you go, 3 great sources for cutting boards. I also want to mention GK Grand, which was a really nice booth that I saw at the ISA show, and I really loved the cutting boards that they had available and the wood supplies that they had available. So GK Grand is another one that you want to check out. Then, of course, there's Leatherette. The stuff we use to make hats like this or like this. There's basically 2 main suppliers in this space, JDS Industries, but the go-to resource for Leatherette is 100% Lone Star adhesive. They've got the best variety, the best quality, and the best customer service. Let's also not forget metal. I know many of you are starting to step into fiber lasers or metal engraving, especially with the F1 that people like to take to craft shows. If you're looking for metal blanks, then there are 2 top-tier companies that I would recommend. One is Monarch Pine, and 2 is my favorite, the Laser Outpost by Liz Rivers. What I love about the Laser Outpost is that she has a thriving community and she does a lot of teaching. So that's kind of folded into the blanks that she provides for metal engraving. Then lastly, there's leather, and there are pretty much just 2 companies that are well known and used, which are Weaver Leather, where I get my leather from, and Tandy Leather. With that, guys, I hope that this is a huge help. If you want links to everything, I have a whole PDF. Just click on the link below and I'll send it right over to you. I hope this is a great help. Now, there are definitely a lot of other suppliers out there. This is just my personal list of the top ones that I have either used or know about because my laser community speaks so highly of them. So with that, thank you so much for sticking around. Let me know in the comments below what you got out of this video, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys here soon over at That Mom with a Laser. Bye, guys.